A Suncoast author may soon see her work on the big screen. Writer Sally Fernandez is releasing her 6th political thriller novel, and at the same time she's finalizing a movie deal for her 5th book, and she wants it to be shot right here in Sarasota. So welcome, Sally.
Thank you, thank you.
Let's start with the big headline. You wrote a book that Hollywood producers are interested in. Wow. Tell us the story.
I pinch myself.
I know.
So
tell us about Climatized.
Climatized. It was the first novel in a new series called the Max Ford Thrillers. And Max Ford is a tough protagonist, woman detective. And so Climatized, I've taken the simple topic of global warming.
Oh, not controversial, no big deal. Okay, so you took a controversial topic and then turned it into a thriller. How did you do that and why?
All of my books, I tend to take, it's a fictional plot, fast-paced, murder, mystery, but takes one political element that gets people to kind of think about what's going on.
Okay, now why did you decide to use kind of those political jumping points in your genre?
I'm a political junkie.
Really? Okay, I love it.
And that's what actually got me started writing 10 years ago.
Oh. So it's kind of a way to blend maybe a little fact with a lot of fiction?
A lot of fact with a lot of fiction.
A lot of fact with a lot of fiction, okay.
So there's a lot of research that goes into it, but my readers have said it's a fun read, but at the same time they come away with, what if? Is this possible? Is it plausible?
Okay, now how does the movie come into this? How did a producer get interested in Climatized?
This is amazing. Just to kind of backtrack 10 years ago very quickly, I wrote a book on a fluke. My husband challenged me. I think I was driving him crazy, ranting about the politics. So I wrote it, ended up with a novel. I self-published, and then 4 months later, David Dunham of the Dunham Group put a hand on my manuscript and said, I want to publish this.
Really? Oh my goodness.
Wow. So, fast forward, he's been my publisher through 6 books, and he said, this is a long shot, but let me give the book to just a friend in Hollywood. So he gave it to Noam Dromi, who is one of the screenwriters and producers for Dolphin Tale.
Oh, that's a good friend to have.
And he's Blindside and so forth and so on.
Oh, wow.
Well, he loved Max Ford, and he sees her kind of the next Jason Bourne.
Wow.
So they're doing a 3-part film. He gave it to his friend, who also has a long history in film, but is the chief marketing officer for the Grammys at the Recording Academy. So, like I said, you know, life imitates fiction. In this case, fiction is imitating life. It's going to be amazing.
And often self-publishing. That's wonderful.
Right, which is a great story. And you have mentioned that having the Suncoast be part of this movie production is very important to you. Tell us about that.
Well, in Climatized, there are a couple of scenes that take place in Patrick's, in the Sarasota Memorial Hospital.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, we have Chief Bernadette DePino is in the story.
Oh, good.
Sully is in the story. So it was very important to do on location. And of course, when we're running through the Piazza Siena, we have to be there too. That's important.
Okay, good. So we have hopes that we'll see some movie production here in Sarasota.
Well, we have a big meeting coming. We have Noam Dromi coming, Evan Green coming.
Coming here?
Yes.
Oh, good.
So they're coming on Friday, and I'll explain why later. But they're coming, and we're having a big meeting, and they're very intent on filming as much as possible of this 3-film project, Max Ford, in Sarasota.
That is wonderful.
Wow.
All right, well, the project is obviously continuing on, so you have a 6th novel.
Yes.
Tell us about Beekeeper's Secret.
Again, I try to take these small subjects, so now I have alternative medicine going up against Big Pharma and the FDA.
Wow. Well, alrighty. And another, you know, detective murder, spies, the whole deal?
Exactly. And it's been really, really fun. And like with Climatized, I actually wrote about real characters and incorporated them, and they're NASA veterans from the Apollo space mission. I got in touch with them afterwards, and they fact-checked it for me.
Oh, good. I was going to ask about your research.
Yeah. So on the Beekeeper, I went to the president of the American Beekeeping Federation and asked him to fact-check, and he did.
You don't play small time.
Yes.
Well, that's wonderful.
Well, I haven't quite gone to the president and asked him to fact-check yet.
I don't know whether he would want to, actually. And you mentioned that you have been a self-publisher, but your editor is also rather close to you.
Yes, he is. My husband, 40 years, is my editor. And if I can, I'd like to give a shout out. The reason my Hollywood team is coming is we're celebrating his 90th birthday this weekend.
Well, what a perfect
So-
reason to get them here. And we're all
Yes.
excited about it too, because once Hollywood sees Suncoast, we are in the big screen.
Yes, we'll see Patrick.
Oh, I just want to read your book. That sounds so good.
Yeah, this is right up Linda's alley. We're going to have a lot of
Can I
fun.
include you in my next murder mystery?
Oh, yes.
Uh-oh, I hope we're not the.
Right. Joey, you better be nice.
Oh, I'll be the killer. That's okay.
All right, well, the book launch is coming up on Thursday, and where else but Patrick's 1481. It's Thursday, April 5th, and you can, of course, find more information on Sally's website. The newest book, The Beekeeper's Secret, being released, and we'll keep our eyes open for Climatized on the big screen. Coming up next, a preview of Funny Girl from Player Center.